Hi, I'm Greg Pollock, and about a year ago I decided to do a little experiment and see what might happen if all of the potential leads that I got in for my consultancy, I took them and actually ran with them and put together, NV Labs and build a company with some of my friends. About a year later, we've got about 13 people, 13 employees almost, and a bunch of contractors, and I've learned a ton about business. Earlier this year at RailsConf, there was an Ignite event. An Ignite, in case you're not familiar with it, is where everybody gets, 5-minute presentations. You get 20 slides, which switch automatically every 15 seconds. So now I'm going to give you my Ignite talk, where I talked a little bit about what I learned in business to sort of pass on some knowledge to you. So first of all, if you have a business website, make sure you've got your phone and email displayed prominently. So many people, when they're going through websites, want to call somebody. I'll get leads because people call me, whereas they might be deterred from having to fill out a form. So make it really easy for people to contact you. Second of all, people don't want to feel like they're talking to a corporation or reading about a corporation. You need to look human on your website. We do this sometimes by having a team page with really goofy pictures. Everybody hates your pictures on here, but it makes us look human, and we get calls because of that. Also, it's important to have a good services agreement to, protect yourself. These guys, new leaders, actually have an open source services agreement, which you can take and give them credit and use it yourself, and it'll protect you. Secondly, always get money up front. You can do this two different ways. First, by charging a deposit, which represents maybe the last week you work with somebody together. And then second way you can do this is by prepayment, which we do at NV Labs. You can do this by, when you initially start a project, let's say your rate is $115 an hour. Maybe the project's going to be roughly 300 hours. Well, then go to your client and say, well, if you prepay us in advance, we'll give you $100 an hour, which means you're going to be saving $4,500. It really works when you lay it out this way. I'm not a big fan of ever doing fixed bid contracts. As Rails developers, we know that building an application isn't like building a bridge. Things change. You need to be flexible if you need to, and fixed bid contracts doesn't allow you to do that. The other reason you want to do fixed bid is because you always want to be able to walk away. Clients have buyer's remorse sometimes. They get angry, and you need to be able to send them that email that basically says, look, you can walk away, we can walk away, let's work this out. And, it kind of gets them to be a little more honest. Along those lines, I strive to be transparent in everything we do with the business. One way we do this is by showing the client exactly where hours get spent. So at the end of the week, we send all of our clients a report that says, here's exactly where your hours got spent. And this really works out if you're doing, prepaid hours. Also along the same lines, you need to put systems in place that force yourself to communicate. As developers, we're not always the best at communicating. So put systems in place like, for example, Monday morning status calls, which we do with all of our clients, just to keep communication open. Also, don't be afraid to apologize to your clients. Nobody's perfect. Your company's not perfect. Your client's not perfect. If you make a mistake, apologize and tell them, we made a mistake here, but here's how we're going to remedy the situation so that this doesn't happen again. It'll make you seem honest. It's okay to eat hours, but again, let your clients know about it. Sorry, we estimated 10, it took 12. Those 2 extra hours, we're not going to bill you for it. Just want to let you know. It develops that relationship. As your company gets bigger, you're going to get leads, and one of your leads is going to have a cousin's best friend's boyfriend that does Ruby development for $10 an hour. And you need to figure that out as quick as possible and disqualify those leads so you're not wasting your time. Following up is a big thing. It's something I definitely still need to get better at. So let's say you bid for a contract, you lose it. Well, just because you lost it doesn't mean you shouldn't follow up. Follow up a month later and say, hey, how are you enjoying those developers? Is there anything we can help with? You'll get business. At NV Labs, we work at CoLab Orlando, which is Orlando's co-working space. And I can't tell you how many times I've hired people from the co-working space just because you see them face to face and you learn about their business, you develop relationships, and you find people to hire. It's great. I'm not a big fan of managing your friends. So nobody at NV Labs is hourly. Nobody at NV Labs is salary. Everyone is hourly. Basically, I don't care if the people I'm working with work 20 hours a week, build 20 hours a week, as long as they're meeting client expectation. And I don't have to manage them. As long as they're meeting client expectation, I don't care. Also, something I'm still learning how to do is delegating. What that's meant really for me is figuring out how to put systems in place so that I can, have other developers work on stuff, have the project managers work on the projects. Don't be afraid to take on more than you can handle. This is a big thing I've had to deal with, like with fear, right? If everybody's busy and you have a lead, who's going to work on it? You need to have the confidence to know that either you're going to hire somebody, you're going to contract out the work. If you can't contract out the work, then find someone in your local community that also is trying to build a Rails consultancy and ask for maybe a 10% referral fee. Never pass up on work. Help it find a home. Find a home for that work. Lastly, I'd love to talk to you about business, let you know what, works with us. I'd love to hear about what works for you. If you're in Orlando, you can buy me a scotch. If you're not in Orlando, find me at a conference or, maybe schedule some time to talk. I'd love to hear about, what works for your business and come up with some new ideas. I guess that's it. Thanks for watching.